Hey, what's going on, Archons? It is time for another episode of Coach's Collection, and today I'm bringing out Tybor, Surf of the Turbulent Boneyard. This deck, for some reason, I thought I had already done before, but I couldn't see it, and if I did for some reason, I apologize, but I don't because I actually love this deck, and I think the reason I thought I did maybe is because I talk about it quite a bit or reference it. It was a deck I went up against in the Key victory I had, but since then I have found out that I made some mistakes and broke the rules a little bit, particularly with my use of Groggins, because Groggin states you can only attack a flank creature, and Kirakin is not considered a creature, therefore it does not work. Same with direct damage does not work against the Kirakin if it says target creature. So that is something I found out through Dr. Sheep putting me in my place and rules lowering me, which I don't mind. It's good to know that. So I'm going to take this deck against it again because I'm determined to win and I think this deck can do it. But without further ado, let's go into this neat deck that is part of my collection that I actually purchased this on the secondary market. I think it was an add-on when I was buying from a seller. And I just went through the collection and saw this. And the reason why I like it is, first off, it's a proc deck. Like that was the first thing that drew me to it, but then it was actually, for me, this is maybe my favorite Brobnar deck from AOA because it has the GangerNaut combo, which is really nice when you have a Coward's End potentially, because you can put some damage on GangerNaut, put Ganger back to your hand, then you can wipe the board, and then after that you can kind of go to town with your combo. Gauntlet Command helps for a lot of things too. It's got Groggins, Grok, stuff like that, Tremor. The Flex is cool with the Groggins, obviously, because you can use the Flex and then Champions Challenge with Groggins, which is kind of fun. Because, the Champions Challenge, I think, is an amazing card for GangerNaut, because you can essentially craft things with the Ganger combo and have your GangerNaut just basically be left with one of their creatures, and then you can just kind of go to town and do some damage there and abuse that rule of 6, let's say, and really showcase why GangerNaut is a thing. It also has Archimedes, which can be really handy with some of the creatures in here. Cutthroat obviously is a lot more advantageous when you have a proc. Some archiving, some disruption. Again, some archiving. Titan Mechanics fine. Brain Eater's good. Eureka fine. Turn 1 play. Interdimensional Graph. Stop some bursting, especially when you start getting, obviously it's not as effective with a proc, but it still is really nice to have. Harlan, a little more disruption, and then the Sanctum is cool because you have a Bonds, you have a Bade, you have Blinding Light, so some more disruption and stun. Chell for taunt to protect some of those creatures you need. Healing Blast is just, or Golden Aura, sorry, is really nice, just because of the fact that it gives you that ability to use something out of Sanctum House, and there are definitely some candidates in here for that. Healing Blast can be really handy, especially when you have really big creatures. You have a GangerNaut that you may want to protect. Further, to get that combo going, this can be really helpful. Double Grey Rider, again, you can just, if your board is clear, there's multiple ways here. You can just abuse a rule of 6 between Grey Rider, GangerNaut, and Ganger. So you just have those things out there, and then Baron Mengevin, if there's anything you don't care for, you can provide some Ember Control, which is nice. And then Rothias the Fierce, just a great taunt creature to protect some of the high value targets in here that people may want to go after. And then of course Proclamation, which was what drew me to this deck in the first place. Literally saw the proc and was like, oh, this is so cool. And then I saw everything in Brobnar and was like, oh, okay, this is super dope. So yeah, that's why I like this deck. I just think it does really cool things within each house, and it just kind of has its own thing. Like great board control for days. Obviously, Champions Challenge with Archimedes is really nice because it gives you that ability to archive the creatures on the other side. Preferably some logos ones like Titan Librarian, Brain Eater, or you can even have some of your Sanctum stuff here be put into safety zones, which is really nice. Grey Riders are also great candidates to be beside there. So that's this deck. It's super fun to play. I wouldn't call it like S tier, but it's definitely an A tier deck. There is some draw things that kind of hinder the movement of it, but aside from that, I absolutely love this deck, and it's one of my favorites and definitely a key component of Coach's collection. So that is all for Tybor Surf of the Turbulent Boneyard. Be sure to check this out on stream this Thursday on YouTube here at 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern. And don't forget to fill out the questionnaire for the Call of Discovery and Help from Future Self quiz showdown that we are now making an annual thing. There is a link in the notes for you to submit your questions to be a part of this momentous episode that we are now going to be doing annually. So thanks everyone, and as always, may your amber never be stolen and your keys forged promptly. Have a good one.